Dating app rating scale. Wait, what?
You want to talk about that?
I know. I can't remember what my theory was.
You're someone else's 10. Someone else's you're 10.
That's the
The
problem
York
with New York. Yeah, no one is anybody's first choice, and there's just too many.
Why are you wearing that?
To signify to everyone that we went skiing.
Let me throw my beanie on then.
What up, everybody? Welcome back.
It's your boy.
It's your boy, Jesse Zahn.
Your boy.
And we're back with another podcast episode of the Rooftop Pod. Me and Rachel are fresh from a day of skiing.
On that mountain right there.
Oh,
Yep.
is that where you guys are skiing?
It's overexposed, so you won't be able to see it. And no one can hear you talking, Rachel, because you're not talking to
Oh
the
my
mic
gosh,
per
okay.
usual.
Let me. Oh my
Dang,
goodness.
dang.
Dang, boy.
But anyways, I hope you all had a great day of skiing today. Well, Rachel, not Andrew. I don't know what Andrew's doing.
I'm working.
This is true.
Andrew doesn't know how to have fun.
This is true. He doesn't know how to take a break.
Doesn't know how to
Actually,
enjoy
he doesn't
life.
even have fun. He just does work. Work fulfills him, which props to you.
Red
Hey,
flag.
When work is fun, you're already having
It's-
fun.
There's
Is
no
work
way
fun,
you have
though?
fun working for corporate America.
This
It's
is
not too bad,
so
actually.
Set timer real quick. Andrew's going to be the host today.
Wait.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
This is for
spraying
you
that
to
on
get
him.
out of your comfort zone.
Dang, dude, you have some deep stuff in here.
Yeah, I do. Well, let's not start deep.
Yeah, we're gonna jump.
Oh, you
right
know,
now,
you
just
want to know
kidding.
something crazy?
Yeah, what's up?
I saw my ex on the mountains
Oh,
today.
yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I
oh
did.
my
Told me,
goodness.
And I said no
Yeah.
way.
You're lying.
Yeah,
I
crazy.
said
First time I seen her in like 8 months.
that's
wild,
insane.
right?
Actually.
Yeah,
I'm
she didn't
glad
see
we
me, though.
See her.
Oh, good.
I saw
good.
her and her sister.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I
that's
said,
right.
what are the odds of that?
What are
happening?
the
I said
odds?
slim
Seriously,
to
though,
none.
very slim. But it
There
happened.
are so many mountains out here.
I hope she's having fun.
Do you? Just kidding.
Okay, and with that, that's a great segue into our topic of,
Which is what?
I'm pretty sure we already talked about leaning on depending on siblings after a breakup.
Nah, I don't want
Yeah.
to talk about breakup stuff. I'm like
Oh.
not going through that anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
good.
He's over it.
Just don't let your mind perseverate on those kind of things, you know?
True.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm looking at all the dating topics. I want to. Did you write wanting to be madly in love, or is that Rachel?
No.
No,
Why would I write that? At the
Right.
beginning of this semester, I was fully comfortable. I was like, you know what? I would be totally fine being alone forever. Like, genuinely. Like,
I honestly think so
Yeah.
too.
Oh wow. Dang.
Yeah, honestly, because when I fall madly in love with someone, I think I wrote that, but I actually
Yeah.
don't want to fall madly in love.
Mm.
Because when I fall madly in love, I feel like I lose control of myself. My decision-making skills are not very good when I'm 2 feet underwater, you know?
Mm.
Like, I enjoy my independence, is what I like.
Actually, no. As you get older, you realize what you want more and more is stability. Like when you're young, like having that roller coaster of emotions is a lot of fun.
Is it?
But once you get older, it's like you don't want that roller coaster of emotions anymore. You want something stable.
I don't think I ever craved the emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, I don't think I ever wanted that either, which is probably why I have never been in a relationship.
Well, that's because you probably also never experienced it before.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, you can't miss what you've never had.
Yeah.
But also, was there a turning point / a moment when you realized?
Yeah,
that
when I
you
got
could
out of
be-
my last relationship.
I mean,
Wait,
I
what?
knew I was talking to Rachel,
Oh,
but that
okay.
is also good to know.
LOL.
When Rachel was like, "I'm okay with being alone forever," was it like after talking to somebody, or was it when you were by yourself, just living alone, and you're like, "Oh, this life is very nice."
Honestly, so after living with you in Colorado, I developed like a lot of independence that summer. Like, I think
Oh.
I finally, like, I used to be a big baby in that I wouldn't do anything by myself. Like, I needed to do it with someone.
You're welcome.
And then in Colorado, Andrew is such a homebody. He would do nothing with me.
Yeah, it's really
and then
annoying.
every time I would
actually.
drag him
Okay,
out,
wow.
every time I would drag him out, he'd just be like huffy puffy the
Complaining.
entire
Yeah.
time, and I'd be like, okay,
okay.
you can just say no. And then so he started saying no, and I went,
did.
shit, I have no one to do things with anymore. And then so I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna let like anyone ruin like me having a good time, and I'm just gonna do things by myself. And so I did, and I had a wonderful time. I explored so much of Colorado. I saw so many things. I did so many things, and I was like, this is a great life. Like I could honestly see myself doing this for the rest of my life, like just having adventures by myself. Like obviously I enjoy the company of other people. Like I have great friends that since they weren't in Colorado, like I couldn't do things with them, but I would love to do that. You know, I like the company of other people, but at the same time, like I really value the time that I can spend with myself doing things that I enjoy.
I think that's an important skill to learning how to like be by yourself. But I find myself, whenever I spend time alone, I find myself talking to myself out loud a lot. Do you guys do that?
I do that a lot.
But I do that in public, and people give me looks.
Really?
But I feel like I'm pretty comfortable doing that now. There's
Talking
something
to yourself
therapeutic about...
in public?
Yeah, just like speaking aloud to yourself. You might seem like a crazy person, but I enjoy
A little bit.
being able to, converse with myself out loud. Like, not really, I'm not like yelling at myself. I'm just kind of mumbling and talking to myself. Kind of like a crazy person
Yeah,
does,
a little bit.
I only do that at home. I
Huh?
never do that in public.
Oh, you only do that at home? Yeah, I
Yeah.
talk to myself. Well, also, another reason why I talk to myself in public is especially if it's like late hours and dark out, I'll talk to myself to kind of signal to other people that I'm the crazy one and that you shouldn't come attack me because I'm the one who's the crazy person.
Interesting.
Nobody's
take.
going to mess with a crazy person, right?
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just one of the thoughts and weird things that I do is I talk to myself.
Fair enough.
Maybe I am crazy. Who knows?
Okay. Like full on conversations, because I'll say words and phrases to myself, especially when I'm working out stuff to myself.
No, I'll have like full on conversations with myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'll pretend like there's someone else that's there
Wait,
and I'll talk
really?
to them.
Wow.
Okay.
And then sometimes I'll hear voices in my head
Oh.
speaking back to
Okay,
me,
don't stop joking
telling me
around.
that I need to overthrow the government or something.
Stage a coup.
Ooh, okay. So I saw this one TikTok. You know how on first dates most guys pay for the meal?
Yeah.
Okay, so if on the second date you want to know whether or not the other person is just there for a free meal or actually genuinely like into you, what you can do is go to like the restaurant 20 minutes early, start a tab of drinks for yourself, then text the date like, oh, do you want a drink? Like I can get you an order. I got here early. And then they'll tell you a drink, but then you put that drink on a separate tab. So then when they come and they order their food, both of your foods will be on separate tabs. Okay?
Yeah. I
And
saw
then-
the same video.
You saw that video? And then when it comes to pay for the meal, they'll bring you two separate checks. And it'll be too weird for the girl to be like, can we merge the check? Like that's not a thing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So her reaction to getting a separate check or her decision to like go on another date or whatever will be indicative of whether or not she's there just for a free meal.
Do you think that the girl would see that as a red flag?
Well,
No.
I saw the comments, and the top comment was, I'd be deeply mistrusting if a guy tried to order me a drink in advance just because of, you can review somebody, you can
Oh,
spike the
yeah.
drink or
Oh, I
something.
didn't even think about that.
I'm just like, yeah, that's definitely a pragmatic thing that
Yeah.
could happen that girls should definitely be wary of
Right.
if that tactic was pulled.
Rachel, if that ever happens to you, decline the
Don't
drink.
do- and the date.
And
Alright.
no,
No, not the date.
not the date.
Yeah, I have been on Hinge for an entire year now,
Okay.
and I have been on, I think, 4 dates.
Okay. In that year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I think it's because by the time I go out on a date with somebody, I think we have enough rapport / banter that I know enough about the person to seem like the type of person who would or would not just be looking for a free meal. So I think I go through like a relatively robust filtration system before asking a girl on a date. Filtering system.
Like you talk to them for a while before you.
It doesn't even have to be a
whether-
while though. It has to be, it can be short, but depending on the vibes of the conversation, I feel like you can pick up.
Really?
But on the same front, like I will always pay for a first date, no matter what. I don't know. That's just the way I operate. But I think the signal
that's
is
dating etiquette.
yeah. If the person offers a split, is usually what I look for, or if they say thank you. That's
if
about
someone offers to split, will you actually split, or will you be like,
it.
okay,
No, I'll
No.
decline for the first date.
What about the
Um,
second date?
Second
At what
date,
date do you expect the girl to start paying or splitting the bill?
I think if they offer the second date, I'll accept to split, and then because that would be the signal of whether or not they're just like, oh, I just kind of want to date to get free drinks or free meals. And then if I'm going on a third date with you, I'll probably pay for that date too, because if we're going on a third date, that means I like you, and that means I want to spend money on you. And then I think by like the fourth date, fifth date after that, if we're going on like 4 to 5 dates after that, that means we really like each other. And I think at that point, it's I'll get a meal, she gets a meal, we'll split, and things kind of just even out. And I don't really put too much stock / keep track of who's paying for what. Because that's essentially how my first relationship went. I think I paid for the first 2 or 3 dates. And then after that, like by the time we went on that many dates, like she'd start covering things, I'd start covering things. And I don't know, we just didn't really keep track of anything.
So in this next segment, we're going to have Rachel look at our Hinge profiles, our online dating profiles.
Amazing.
And see what she thinks of it. I don't think I've ever had anyone else look at my profile besides myself.
Wait, I've seen it.
I don't think I've ever had another girl look at my profile. No, I've had Mina look at it.
Yeah.
But it'll be good to see what your take is on our
Just
dating
to preface,
profiles.
as a general thought of mine, I hate all men. So,
Including us.
indeed. So my reaction will probably be just cringe and disgust most of the time.
Oh, is that what we want?
I have 2%, so
All right, go first then. Make it quick.
maybe we'll show this on the screen.
No, they're just
Right
gonna have
here.
to interpret it.
All right, Rachel.
Imagine
Also, let me know if you think I'm a catfish.
catfish.
Wait, catfish.
As in, like, you don't look like you look the
Wait,
same.
I like this one. Wait, this one's actually really funny. Okay, what if I
So-
told you that I have recurring nightmares about being barefoot in public restrooms? That's disgusting.
I have those.
Oh my
as
gosh,
nightmares, for
that's
sure.
so strange. Okay, 27, man.
That one
straight.
does well.
6 foot. Yeah, I like that it's the first one. It's definitely a conversation starter.
Starting off strong.
Oh, there's me.
Okay, you have a lot of pictures with other people.
But my first picture is by myself, which is the most important.
Yeah, you look very smiley. Actually, I kind of like. Okay, based off of your messages, I was really scared to look at this. Okay, this one's questionable. Unusual skills. I shoot people's. Oh, okay, I get it now. Do people?
Read it out.
Okay, unusual skills. I shoot people's heads.
Oh, you can see it on the
Um,
screen.
It's a double entendre. No, I'm gonna.
No, it's
Okay.
a double entendre. Like, doesn't that have to have
Because-
sexual undertones?
No.
Isn't
I
really?
don't think so.
I think it just has a double meaning.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
Well.
it's well, the next picture kind of explains because I do
No,
headshot photography.
it doesn't. I wouldn't connect those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that generates curiosity. People are
Do
like,
people like
Yeah,
respond to this prompt?
yeah, people are like, what do you mean? Like, are you a serial killer? Like,
Oh.
what do you mean you shoot people in the head? And I tell them I'm a headshot photographer and I'm an avid Call of Duty player. So
The key to my heart is getting along with my little siblings. Aw, that's cute. Aw, I'm featured on your profile. Okay.
out of 10.
This is not bad, I will say.
Mm.
I was really scared to look at this.
It's pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's cute.
Thank you.
Dang.
Thank you.
You have exceeded my expectations.
I'll tell you
Jesse.
what. So you need to check a few boxes off when you're making your profile. First, you obviously have to use representative photos of yourself. But with the prompts, you can do a lot. You want a funny prompt, you want a mysterious prompt, and you also want a prompt that shows you're a wholesome person. With those three, you'll be able to attract any person you want. Because, anyways, enough talking about myself.
All right.
Andrew, you're
I
up
guess
next.
We're looking at mine.
I'd give it like an 8 out of 10.
Oh, we
I
should
was
do.
pleasantly surprised.
Oh, thank you. 8. Wow.
Wow.
All right, Andrew, you are up next.
All right.
I don't know why that's your first.
Yeah, I don't
picture.
know why that's your first
Okay.
picture. I think
It's
I
a
like
good picture,
Jesse's
but
because
it's-
it's very smiley.
Yeah, you want
Like
to
I
have an
think you want a
approachable first
smiling picture. Yeah, and this
Yeah.
one it just feels a little too overproduced.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Okay, we're the same type of weird. If you also stop to admire
Come
every
on.
dog you walk by.
Yes. All right, read them.
All right, we're the same type of same type of weird. If you also stop to admire every dog you walk by. That's not weird. That's just normal.
Yeah.
It's a red
Dang.
flag if you don't do that.
Mm.
Okay. 5'11", LOL.
I
In the
am
morning.
I think you're very too reliant on the dog.
I know.
I
I started
agree.
with this profile during COVID.
Because you don't
I
even.
think
This isn't even.
I'm
you don't even have
confused.
this dog.
I know.
I'm learning how to.
read.
That's a good
Oh
one.
man, let's make sure we're on the same page about FMK. Word hunt, 8-ball, cup pong. Interesting.
What?
It's an easy prompt to have people answer. And there's also there's no right answer, but there's one wrong answer.
What?
Okay.
You're not killing cup pong?
Yeah, killing
what
cup
if
pong.
what if I told you that I need at least 2 pillows to sleep so I can alternate when one gets too hot?
These.
Okay.
It's so random.
Yeah. My submission.
But I
to
guess they're
National Geographic.
relatable.
Okay, I would put your last photo first.
Yeah, your last
Mhm.
photo should be first.
Yeah.
For sure.
I liked how Jesse's photos related to his prompts. I think Jesse's profile is just much more cohesive than yours.
Yeah,
I
mine's
think I'm
all
just
over
like
the
a little
place.
confused, I guess. Like I would see this and I'd go,
Damn. Damn.
there's
fair.
like not a lot
Yo.
of personalities shining through here.
It's
Like
because he has none. Damn.
Dang.
I'm sorry.
Roasted
Wait.
left and right.
I don't know.
But
It's
I think
it
my
is
I
basic.
think
Like,
my
you have a
profile
s-
is very basic.
sibling photo and you don't talk about the siblings.
Mm.
How are they supposed to know who that is?
Why don't you talk about
What if I
Your
told you
other
that I
hobbies?
was a
'Cause it doesn't-
micro-influencer?
No.
absolutely
Definitely don't
not.
do that.
Absolutely not.
But
Like in an ironic way. Like put the little zany face after.
no.
I kid.
I guess you kind of want your hobbies and passions to shine through, because I don't know
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
about your hobbies and your passions
Yeah,
through this
because
profile.
I'm like, I don't learn anything about you if you
Mm.
alternate pillows at night.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
Word.
I'm learning nothing about you
Mm.
from this.
Besides
it
that, you
doesn't
like
prompt
dogs,
me,
and
yeah.
literally
I
every
do like
person
that, yeah.
on this
Yeah,
planet
it doesn't
likes
prompt me
dogs.
to ask you about things that you do. So it's not like prompting me to get to know you further.
I know. Yeah. Like I think.
I mean, he's doing fine, so
I
who
know,
knows?
like-
it's
Yeah.
mostly because
I-
people recognize you from social media, right?
not really.
When you have clout,
Well,
it doesn't
maybe.
really. You don't have to work as hard. I feel like clever responses are always going to work better.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I agree.
What do you? How do you want to be approached? Just like
I just don't want to be approached.
that's fair. Rachel's asexual.
This is most likely true.
potentially actually.
Yeah.
All right, I have a question for you guys.
What up?
Were you guys embarrassed of being poor or having not as much as a kid, but nowadays you guys are like proud of coming
Fortunate.
from a less fortunate background?
We were very fortunate.
All right, less than the average of what we were surrounded by.
That's true.
I think as a child, I was always like, why is our house so small? Because every time I would go to my friend's house, they would have like a much larger house. And I would always ask mom and dad. And mind you, this was when I was like in first grade, so I didn't really understand.
I would do this too.
Yeah. I'd be like, why don't we get a bigger house?
We have so many people in our
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess the feeling of being poor or not poor. Okay. So we were never poor.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we've moved outside of or learned more about the world, there's no way we can say that we're unfortunate or less fortunate in any sense. But growing up in a upper middle class suburbs, or growing up around other friends and peers who
Relatively.
were relatively more wealthy than you are, definitely made you feel like you had less.
Yeah.
Yes.
So nowadays I don't feel like that. I don't feel like we grew up very fortunately compared to the rest of the world.
I think mom and dad, what also contributed to me feeling like we were a little more poor, I guess, like relatively to the people that we were surrounded by, is that mom and dad are also very, very frugal. So in terms of buying clothes and things like that, just things that are non-essentials, like we would save a lot in those aspects, which I very much so am grateful now, because I think they saved for some much more important things, like being able to go back to China and like take family vacations and have that time off together.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of buying
mostly
clothes,
wore like
hand-me-downs,
for until like high school. I remember like middle school, late middle school till high school, all three of us were wearing hand-me-downs and all that.
Yeah. And I think the only clothing that I've gotten new is like clothing that I've bought for myself. Or most of the time.
What? Huh? Of course.
Yeah. Not
what?
like mom would buy them for me, or like it's using my own money that I've worked for.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, I remember as a kid, there was a distinct point where I was like, I no longer want to wear hand-me-downs anymore. And I was like, I'd made mom take me to Old Navy and buy me these like graphic tees that I thought were cool.
LOL.
And mom bought them for me, and I was so proud to wear these graphic tees to shirt the next day. I was like, damn.
To school.
Yeah, to school the next
shirt.
day.
To shirt the next day.
I was so happy and proud to be wearing these like graphic tees to school the next day and show them off. Just so I could fit in, I feel like. Now looking back, the hand-me-downs were like, that we wore, were kind of fire that we wore. There was this one. Yeah, so there's this one story that I have.
were your hand-me-downs, so.
Okay, so I had this one in kindergarten. I had this like Hello Kitty polo shirt. It was like this pink Hello Kitty polo shirt.
With
like this little Hello Kitty emblem on like the chest. And I would wear it to kindergarten. And I remember wanting to wear that shirt every single day because the 8th graders at the school and the 7th graders, they loved it when I wore that shirt. They would always come up to me and be like, oh my God, he's so cute. Look at him in his yellow Hello Kitty shirt. And I was like, wow, this shirt is attracting so much attention. This must be a fire shirt. And so I would tell mom to like dress me in that shirt like a lot of days of the week because I loved the attention from that shirt. But then I realized they're probably just making fun of me when I grew up.
No, I
I'm
think
just
a
kidding.
little boy wearing a Hello Kitty shirt. That's
no,
adorable.
it's adorable.
Yeah.
I think it was a cute thing. But we were wearing like weird articles of clothing similar to that up until we realized that we didn't want to stand out anymore and that we wanted to fit in. And I think this is a common theme of like being a child or maturing. Like when you're not mentally that mature, your general thought process is to do whatever you can to fit in.
Yeah.
And to avoid
attention or negative attention.
Negative attention. Because I think most attention that kids give to other kids is usually negative. You don't really ever see kids like complimenting other kids for standing out or being different.
Yeah.
It's always, if you look any different, it's always negative. So I think as a kid, we were always like being relatively less fortunate when we were kids. We were also trying to fit in by living in a nicer, bigger house as well. Because I remember being embarrassed and not really having my friends over because I was like, oh, they might judge me because our house is smaller, you know?
Right. I think I felt that way a lot. I never wanted to have my school friends over at our house, not because of the size of the house, but how eclectic and clean and
unkempt.
But I will say there was a big shift, I think, midway through high school where I suddenly started inviting my friends over all the time because they really liked how cozy our house felt. And that's something I've come to appreciate, I think, later on past elementary school. Our house feels lived in versus some of the other houses. It's very lived in.
All the walls are marked with markers and crayons.
Oh,
but
yeah.
A lot
our
of
couches are peeling.
Our couches are peeling. Very lived in.
Yeah, it's very lived in. But some of the houses that I go to over to my friends' houses, it's very put together. It's very sterile. It feels like a hotel room. So like the decor is very nice, but it just doesn't have the same warmth that our house gives off.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a shift.
I think after we got Winston and he like peed on the couches several times, I would be worried to invite people over because they would have nowhere to sit because the couches were peed on.
It's very lived in.
Our house isn't great for hosting.
We host dinner a lot though.
We
Host dinner
host
a
so
lot.
many people
Yeah.
over our house though. But again, the vibes of our house are great.
Now, I think what we've done with it now, so we have green carpets.
Turquoise. Yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't mean to get green carpets. I think
Oh, was
mom and
that an
dad,
accident?
mom and dad were looking at samples, and I think they meant to get some beige colored carpets. But then they installed it and they were green.
It
And so
was
I got
meant to be
home.
beige.
I think so, or like gray, beige, some
What?
neutral color.
How did they
Yeah,
mess
like
I
that
don't
up
know,
so bad?
some light thing.
I could see a dark gray and
Um,
that green getting mixed up under certain
Anyway,
lighting
it
circumstances.
got-
Mom and dad make those kind of mistakes.
It got installed, and I came home and I was like,
Shema.
but now that we have a bunch of houseplants, it fits.
Oh, it does.
It
Yeah.
like, and after we painted the walls beige, like it's so warm, and the dark wood, it's
Dark wood.
it's weird
light wood.
that dark wood
Hmm.
from the baby grand piano.
Oh,
It
okay,
fits
okay.
really well, I think, in my opinion. Like I love the vibes of our house now
It's unique.
with the green carpet.
Oh, I'm sure as a
Yeah.
kid I would have been
Oh, it's
hella
unique.
embarrassed by it. But now I'm just like, wow, our house we have a pink bathroom. We have,
That one's so questionable.
Okay,
I don't
we
know
need
how
to
I feel
change
about
that one. It's like neon
It's
purple.
hot.
Yeah.
pink
Yeah.
Or purple. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a very bright purple, and
Yeah.
that was my mistake.
oh, that was your choice?
That
I thought that
was
was
me.
mom's decision.
I also
No.
thought it was.
I think I'm 90% sure it was me. We tried green at first, like the green that we have in the basement, which is also like
I
a neon
don't
green.
love that green either. I don't know which one's worse actually.
But yeah,
None of
I
it
had
goes
some
together either.
questionable
Our
choices,
kitchen we
yeah.
have like
We
a
have
red,
red
accents
That
to
was
it.
from my room because I painted my room that color, and I think that also used
Is
to
your
be.
room still that color?
No, I painted
yeah,
it
I
white
was gonna
ages
say,
ago. It was not
a
it.
dark red room.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, it gave
It's
like horror
insidious
movie
vibes.
vibes.
I
Yeah.
know. I don't know
Red
why you
room.
would ever want that.
I was in middle
It's
school.
too
okay.
stylized.
I think
Yeah.
our room.
Our bedroom is like,
I like it.
It's very
It's
boyish
very
and
young
childish.
boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Every young boy wants a
It gives me-
blue room.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Mhm.
It's like this
Yeah.
ocean voyage. I think was the color blue. It's very nostalgic.
I don't
Sure.
know what it is.
I remember. I like the blue.
But it's really interesting because now, I mean, you see this in a lot of popular medias. Like everyone wants to say that they came up from nothing, you know,
Pull
started from the
yourselves up
mud.
by the bootstraps type beat.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because then it kind of signifies that if you came from less and you achieved this much, that signifies that you've done more with your life
Mm.
than other people have.
Because I think there's been a lot of criticism of nepotism babies too. It's just like where things were just handed to you and you didn't have to work for anything. Whereas
Yeah.
people now kind of value when people are able to do things for themselves.
And that's part of the American dream, right? Being
Mm.
able to come from nothing but be able to achieve as much as like anyone else had the chance to achieve.
Right. And I think people, at least Gen Zers, like struggle brings across character development as well.
I don't know if that's a Gen Z thing. I think a lot of people love bragging about struggles. It's a toxic mindset to have, but I remember in college a lot of people would love to maybe not brag, but they would love to complain about how much or how busy they are and how stressed out they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that
Not
just
me.
because you went to a high achieving private school though?
That's because you went
Yeah.
pre-med. You go to
Yeah.
our business school. No.
Not the
No,
same
and it was
thing,
a
yeah.
toxic mindset because like people who weren't as stressed, they would feel like, oh, what are they doing to be so stressed to get
Right.
ahead? You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
what are they doing that I'm not doing, and why am I not as stressed as them? So then you put yourself into more activities and
Yeah.
starting to involve yourself more just so that you can also feel like
Achieve
you're
the
keeping
same
up.
level of
Yeah.
stress. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You don't see that at all? in
Not
your
at
school?
Ohio State.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
People
yeah, this
value
was a-
the balance now, I think.
Oh, that's good. Maybe
Yeah.
it's a generational thing. Maybe people are just
I
more
think-
healthy about.
There are certain niche communities where that, or not niche, but like certain communities of high achievers when they're all bundled together.
Yeah,
and
you'll
there's,
always
like,
find
the
high achievers
comparison. Yeah.
somewhere. Yeah.
Comparison mindset,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it's competitive, especially for pre-med. I feel like pre-meds like to compare themselves a
Pre-meds
lot.
are pretty toxic.
Yeah, but that's just because you have to apply for the same med schools, and it's
Yeah, it's
Kind of feels like
it's an
competition.
inherently competitive field.
Yeah.
Because there's a large pool of people that want this certain profession. There's only such a limited number of spots, so that you're inevitably competing against each other for those spots.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, another note.
I don't know
on
if that's
the-
true for any other profession.
Sorry.
It kind of feels the same in like the finance world.
Yeah.
Exactly. Limited number of spots. I mean, the culture of our business school was cutthroat too. Like it was very much, it felt like a zero-sum game where
Yeah.
if you did well in a class, that means I'm not going to do well in the class because of the curve. Or if you get this job, that's one less position that I could take. So similar toxic mindset that I'm glad I'm no longer in. But I don't know,
That's
the
fair.
competing to be as stressed out as you can be, I don't think that aspect existed in my school or class.
Okay.
That's fair.
Rachel, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, you were talking about people bragging about their struggles.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of things where people go through some traumatic event and other people will comment like, oh, now you have a college essay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's toxic.
Yeah.
That's
I'm not gonna
so-
lie. I've been like, dang, I wish I struggled more so I had something more interesting to write about for my college essay. But I realize, but that's true though.
Yeah.
College admissions,
They love sob stories.
They love stories. They love stories. But I realized that you can tell a good, compelling story without, like anybody can tell a good, compelling story. Like you don't have to have gone through some crazy experience
Right.
to tell a compelling story.
Right.
But it's definitely easier if you've been through.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just more explicit.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's more obvious. But then like there are some ubiquitous stories that people can tell. And now what's becoming cliche in like med school admissions is like, and this has always been cliche, is like writing about a loved one becoming sick and like navigating the medical field, like with a loved one going through a certain illness, because the ubiquitous nature of illness and health issues, everyone has a story that has to do something with like people going through or navigating the medical field. Now I work in med school admissions, or I help interview kids for med school admissions. Those stories never compel me.
Are you
people
making
who are
decisions?
I don't make the final decision, but I get to contribute like, do I recommend this person to be accepted? Do I
Yeah.
think this person should be waitlisted or rejected? They weigh my decision in, but I don't get the final say. Having seen as many med school applications as I have, I realized that there are just so many, like when you're writing these essays, you don't realize how common your experience is. But it's kind of weird because do you want, like, is it beneficial to the medical profession to accept kids with unique experiences?
Yes.
Same with college. Like, do you really want someone who's super well-rounded? Okay. So I feel like one of my, I see this as a personal flaw and as a
positive characteristic.
yeah, I see this as both a flaw and a positive characteristic about myself, where I am almost so well-rounded that I'm not particularly good at any one thing. Like I am above average at like 20 different things, but I'm not like 99th percentile at anything, any of those 20 things. So it's like the jack of all trades, master of none, right?
Yeah.
And the phrase keeps going.
And I feel like
I don't remember the second half of the phrase, so I'm going to
Good,
stop it there. We'll throw it up on the screen.
It says it's something about how being the jack of all trades is better than the
Master of one.
but still better than the master of one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Jack of all
oftentimes better than the master of one. Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
So maybe at the end of the day, this is a positive characteristic rather than a flaw.
Yeah. No, life is more fun when you
You
can
can do a lot
enjoy
more
a lot
things.
of
Yeah.
different varieties of life.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that like personally, like if I were to have like, let's say like a gallstone, maybe not a gallstone, or something more complicated. Like say I have like a pancreatic gastrinoma and I need it to be surgically removed, or like I have a brain tumor, like an astrocytoma or something.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
I want someone who is the best of the best
Right.
to do the procedure for me. I don't want some multi-dimensional jack of all trades person to do that procedure.
Yeah.
I want the neurosurgeon who has no hobbies, who has no interests outside of medicine.
Lives and dies by brain tumors.
Yes, the
Yeah.
person who like knows this procedure like the back of his hand
Mm-hmm.
to do that procedure for me. And I think that's why I chose not to do neurosurgery, because that's what I was interested in prior to medical school. And I was
Mhm.
like, you literally, if you want to be the best at a complicated surgical practice,
Mhm.
you literally have to dedicate your life to it, and you have nothing else that you can really live. People sacrifice their families, like not
Right.
literally, but like they sacrifice family time.
Oh man.
They
Did
sac-
it take it
Yeah,
literally?
yeah. I don't think anyone took it
they,
literally.
they
Yeah.
sacrifice so
You
much.
sacrifice them for
the- I-
organs.
like both of my, like I had a few neurosurgeon mentors of mine that were just always telling me like, yeah, I can't even count how many Christmases that I've missed with my family,
Dang.
and
So
like
sad.
how many holidays I've missed with my kids. And I was
Right.
like, wow, like, and they say it with pride because they're like, this is like,
That brings them fulfillment.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is like how much I am willing to sacrifice to be the best surgeon
Right.
there is. And
To save lives. Yeah.
to be honest, like that's the surgeon I want if I ever have like
right.
any medical complications.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
Partners at my firm would sacrifice the same thing to be the best consultant out there.
Oh man.
See, that's a little less
That's
meaningful.
a little different.
So,
And that's why I left that career path.
yeah. So now
Yeah.
I've realized all the career choices that I've made so far have been so that I can further diversify and invest into other aspects of who I am, rather than just specializing in one very specific thing. So instead of becoming a neurosurgeon, I was like, oh, I want to do a specialty where I have a lot of free time outside of my clinical practice. So there are plenty of clinical practices where the stakes are not nearly as high, and you don't have to be super specialized or super skilled to do that certain profession. And so those are kind of the specialties that more so pique my interest now.
I don't think I've ever had a desire to be the best of the best. I think there was an inkling of it when I first started violin, and like a lot of people were like, "Oh my gosh, child prodigy," which I wasn't that good. I think I was just better than average as a 4-year-old. And so I was like, what if I became a professional violinist? But that fizzled out very quickly because I realized very quickly I didn't have like the passion or the discipline to be able to do that. And I think after recognizing that, I could recognize that in a lot of different aspects of things that I was interested in, and recognizing, I don't have the passion nor the discipline to be the best of the best at one particular thing.
Yeah, I think every time I start a new hobby, I want to be the best of the best. But then I realize how much effort goes into that, and like how I'd have to focus and specialize super hard at that one activity in order for me to be the best. And then I'm like, again, it's like I can't sacrifice my other interests and my other hobbies in order to be the best at this one. Yeah. So that's kind of where I stop.
Cool.
Anyways, we're going to be checking back in later tonight, talking about some other stuff, ripping through countless episodes of this podcast this weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, tune in next time for the next episode of the Rooftop Pod. Thank you all for joining us. I'm your host, Jesse, checking out, and with me is my sister,
Rachel,
and my brother,
Andrew.
and we will catch you on the next episode of the Rooftop Pod.
Peace.